Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my show, Open Your Heart with Dr. Arshnoor. So, as we are coming every week on Tuesday at 7 p.m., and usually my topics are related to stress because stress is the biggest cause for many problems that people are facing nowadays. And that's why I have given the theme to my show, Open Your Heart with Dr. Arshnoor. So today's topic is stress is the biggest killer. Yes, stress is the biggest killer for all age group people, for all stream people, and all cadre people. So to discuss about the stress, its dire consequences, its solutions, and to escape from this, I have called my good friend Pranavi, who is finance director and working in the corporate world. And today we'll be talking about the stress in the corporate world and how to deal with this and how the companies are giving solutions to their employees. So I'm calling my guest today, Pranavi. Pranavi, you're welcome to my show, and I wish that you should introduce yourself. Come on, welcome, dear. I'm audible.
Oh, thank you,
Okay.
Arshnoor. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, you are audible. How about me?
Yes, you're audible. Your voice is quite audible. Yes. Welcome, dear. Welcome to our show.
Okay, very good. Very good. A very good evening to everyone. So, thanks, Arshnoor, first inviting me onto this show. A quick introduction about me to add on to what Arshnoor said. I'm a chartered accountant by profession and I have close to 16 plus years of experience in the corporate world in the finance largely. But otherwise, on the personal side, I love doing a lot of things like doodling, gardening, and writing. And
Oh,
I'm on a
wonderful.
spiritual quest, and I'm a very firm believer of meditation, and I practice meditation every day.
Good. That's really exciting.
So that's
So
about
I
me
feel
quickly.
that, yes. So fine, Pranvi, I would like to know that nowadays stress has become the killer and it is affecting the lives of the people to much extent. So what do you feel? We generally talk about that the majority of the people are in stress. What's the reason why the people are in too much stress?
Absolutely, I think a very relevant question in the dynamic, fast-moving world today. I think it's probably
Yes,
the most the biggest problem, not just in the corporate world, across the world, I guess. I think even before
yes,
we go and understand the reasons, probably we need to understand what is stress actually, right?
exactly.
Stress is something, is a tension that we take, or is it a reactive response to something? Even if I were to put it across differently, if the intentions or thoughts or our words or actions, any of this doesn't happen to our expectations, so that's what
Uh-huh.
we in some way you can call it as stress. It's basically the reactive response of ours to the environment is basically the stress. All right, so
So,
now I think what are the reasons? There are according to me, there are internal factors and external factors. I know we
okay.
most of the time only worry about external factors, but let me tell you both. External factors are basically the kind of environment you live in or you work. If we are talking about a corporate world, the kind of environment you
Yes.
work, basically it could be the culture of the organization, it could be the kind of people you work with, or it could be the type of boss that you work with, and the kind of
Okay.
work. Right, all of
Yes.
these factors do add to your stress. These are external factors. And now what are the
Okay.
internal factors? Internal factors is how well equipped you are to deal with stress. Basically, like I said, stress is nothing but, according to me, a reactive response of yours to any situation. So it's basically how do you deal with it, because external factors are something that you can't control, it's beyond you. So according to me, these
Fine.
are the two factors largely, I would say, what are causing stress. And especially in a corporate world, if we were to talk about right now, the priorities have completely changed. Meaning it's a very fast moving
Yes.
world. It's fast, low, and high, right? So You have to get everything very fast. You have to get it at a low
Yes.
cost, low resources, in no time, and how innovative and how easily you'll get it. So these are the priorities that have become in the corporate world for the right, their own reasons. So when the priorities also change, that kind of causes stress
Mhm.
as well. Or I would say it's if the priorities are not aligned between the two individuals, that would kind of cause stress again.
Okay, fine. It was really very good answer you have given to me, to the audience also. So, Pranvi, so usually the people in the corporate world, they go to the extreme levels. Sometimes the people, they become addicted to it, may be alcohol, it may be smoke. So do you feel that it is a stress, work stress, the environment in the corporate world, that is the major cause for them to go into such dark consequences? Is it so? So the work level or work stress is too much in the corporate world?
I agree to a greater extent. Yes, there is pressure, there is work stress, and like I rightly said again, the kind of people and the kind of environment and culture you work, and if they're not aligned to your system, that definitely is
Okay.
going to create stress, right? You can't avoid it. You might run from this organization to another organization. If something is not
Mhm.
aligned, it is going to create stress. That is something that you cannot avoid. But having said that, yes, from our fathers generations to now where we are in, definitely things have changed a lot. Like I said, the mantra right now is fast and cheap and effective, right? So it's all moving in that direction, so there is always stress
Mhm.
for us to complete everything quite fast at a low cost and with low resources. There is going to be stress
Very good.
because of work. And also to add to it, probably sometimes there could be bosses, there could be leaders for their own valid reasons. They might be driving and pushing certain things which may not be aligned to the team. It's not something that
Okay.
they're selfish. When those priorities are not aligned and there is no proper communication, as well as the environment or the culture that is driving that kind of a behavior, will also create stress. Um,
Okay.
so definitely there is stress. I wouldn't say no. There is definitely stress.
Okay. So what you feel that what should be the best solutions to deal with this stress first of all? So I'll ask you about in the corporate world how the people are dealing with this stress.
Yeah, so just to add to your previous question, I forgot to add. So to your question, yes, people are. So today, though the technology has improved, in some sense, we say relationships are actually digressing, right?
Yes.
For whatever reason. So probably we don't have time, we don't have understanding, we don't have the capability to deal with stress. That's what I
Yes.
would say. And that's probably the reason people are figuring out various ways to deal with stress. And maybe
Hmm.
they felt the quick fix solutions could be getting into those drugs, which will give them a um, quick
Relief
solution,
from the yes.
quick hi-fi energy and quick hi-fi emotion. But we are
Hmm.
knowingly that it's going to create a lot of long-term negative impact.
Hmm.
But those are the quick fix solutions because we have moved away from the effective solutions for whatever reasons in the past that we had of how to dealing with stress. From there we have moved to some quick fix solutions. It could be drugs, it could be anything, right? Because we do not know what are those effective ways of dealing with stress. Because first of all, we do not know how to deal with stress first of because it is all about how do you deal with stress. For me, so external factors like people, bosses, your team, your situations, environment can create stress. It is all about your mindset, your capability, your understanding of do you want to take that stress and allow it to dig in deep in you, or you don't want to take that stress and keep it be away from it. Of course that comes with practice, but are you ready basically, right? So you definitely
Hmm.
need to be conscious of how to deal with stress. So it is either you
Fine.
don't first create stress. If
Hmm.
there is stress that you are accumulating, how do you cleanse it every day basically? So you definitely need to know it.
Yes, I wanted to know this thing actually. So there is no solution outside the world. So we cannot change the atmosphere. We cannot change the people, not the bosses, not the work atmosphere. So we have to change ourselves. So I feel that the children
Exactly.
should be taught to deal with the stress in the schools, which is the biggest lacking in the education system. So let's talk about this, that
Exactly.
how can the children be taught to deal with the stress which they are going to face in the outer world afterwards? Let's start from the home. So, how should a child be taught by the parents at home to deal with this giant stress? Because I'll call this a monster or a giant, the stress which everyone has to face afterwards. Yes, being a
No,
parent, or what should
absolutely.
we
I
do?
think no, it's a very essential life skill, I would say, that needs to be taught at schools. Forget about children. I think the so-called grown-up adults are not able to deal with their own stress. So what will they teach to their
Exactly.
children, right? So it is important first the parents and the grown-up adults also learn how to deal with stress. It is easy said than done, but having said that, like I said again, so first realizing the fact that the external factors are always going to be there that would cause
Mm,
stress. It is
exactly.
we being ready not to take that stress, not to take that allow in and creep in new inside, basically, right? So don't be reactive, repulsive to that situation. So that's the first thing.
Mm,
Second thing is, even if that is created, don't, meaning go on over it, basically. So you do self talk, you go on over it, and then it will kind of multiply, basically. That's another second biggest mistake that we do. Don't keep on
mhm,
hanging over that, basically. Don't multiply it,
mhm.
right? And then third and most important thing, probably, I think, being very clear in terms of the priorities in life, what you want. I think it would make a lot of difference even in stress, because then you know when there is a situation, when there is someone saying something, you know what is priority, what it means to you, how much impact it makes to you, and do you need to take it or not. And beyond
Yes.
all these, what are the factors that can really help you to deal with stress? There is definitely something that you love doing, no matter what others like it or not. It is something that you
Mhm,
like doing. It could be
mhm.
anything. It could be watching a movie, it could be listening to a song, it could be gardening, it could be writing, it could be sketching, it could be spending time with your family or children, it could be
Yes,
being
exactly.
yourself, it could be meditating, anything, right? It's something that you really like doing. I think you should spend time every day, sometime at least, because in this current fast moving, confused, chaotic world, you cannot avoid stress completely. That is impossible, and you
Yes.
definitely need to experience to go to that level of not to take that stress as well. So probably you have to start the journey of dealing the stress that you have created first. I think when you spare some time every day in these activities, those will work as a stress busters to relieve from the stress that you have created. It's like cleansing your cleansing your body every day, like you take a daily bath, right? It's like cleansing
Yes.
your mind as well. I would say, you, apart from body bath every day, you should take a mind bath as well.
So can
That's
you
very
please
important,
elaborate?
because as you
Huh,
cleanse your body, you need to cleanse
huh.
your mind, because you accumulate a lot over the day. It could be at an emotional level, at an energy level, at a physical level, everything. You accumulate a lot over the full day. So you need to cleanse the mind as well, along with cleansing your body. That's
Fine.
important.
So, yes, I do understand, and it's really wonderful information you have given to me. So, as stress is impacting all the relations, also, it may be the child parents relation, it may be husband wife relation, it may be boss and subordinate relation. So, anyway, all the relations are spoiled and devastated due to the stress. So, as you told about the cleansing of the mind or the cleansing of inner self, can you please elaborate it a bit more so that people should get the help from this? How can they cleanse themselves to come out of this stress or to deal with this stress? So, some of the techniques,
No,
how can they do?
absolutely. Absolutely. I think I would want to reiterate the point that we give so much importance to cleansing our body, but we do not
Yes.
give that much of an importance to cleansing our mind or cleansing our energy, because we have accumulated so much over the day. I think realizing the fact that that needs to be done every day itself is the first
Uh,
starting point, right, in dealing with stress. Now, second
okay.
thing is being conscious over the full day what
Mm-hmm.
kind of thoughts that you are going through to a particular situation or a particular person. When you're encountering a person, being conscious of thoughts and how you deal with that situation, right? So are you being reactive? Is it necessary to react?
Mhm.
Meaning just being conscious. I'm not saying you will change in a day. Just being
Mhm.
conscious of thoughts will make you understand how you're dealing with a particular situation. That itself will kind of give you a clarity in terms of should you tone down, should you react or not, should you say something, or should you just move away from that situation. That kind of clarity will come in when you have that consciousness. Then the third thing is, at least one technique that I really believe and which
Mhm.
has worked out for me is, I do meditation in the morning. I spend at least an hour every day in the morning.
Oh, good.
That helps me a lot to cleanse my mind, because you can be with yourself basically. And
Mhm.
apart from that, like I said, meditation is just one technique, one old good
Mhm.
technique that I helped me. Apart from that, you can do anything that you like, right? Like I said earlier, right? You can do something that you really like, where you can immerse yourself without anything from an external world, without
Mhm.
expecting anything from the external bodies. It can be anyone. You immerse yourself in something that you like doing. That kind of works as a stress buster basically.
Hobbies, you can say. I'm coming on the same
Yeah,
topic.
hobbies you can
So,
say.
my topic, my question is that children in the school, because education is lacking there, there's too much stress exerted on the children at home and the school also. So, what technique should be
Exactly.
taught to a child to deal with this stress and to actually prepare himself from inner side to handle this stress by himself only? So, what technique do you
Uh,
feel that should be taught to a child in the school and at home also?
No, absolutely. I think couple of things I would say very important to be taught to children is one, to how do they face any situation or a person, right? Because the
Uh-huh.
stress is caused by those factors. So basically, they need to be prepped in terms of when they encounter a situation, when they encounter a person, or when they are in an environment which they don't really like, how
Yes,
should they basically process their mind and thinking. I think that's
yes,
something that really need to be taught at schools for children, because that's the first step. And two, they need to encourage children for them to understand and appreciate. Meaning children does appreciate and love to do what they love to do, but then unfortunately in the current education world, they're pushed to learn, get marks. They're under pressure to take tests and
yes.
get marks. I'm not saying they shouldn't, they should get marks, but parallelly they should be encouraged to appreciate and do what they love doing, so that
Yes.
that's where they can make themselves clear in terms of what is their priority in life. Because when their priorities in life are clear to them, their reactions to the situation will always change. That would
Okay.
make that reaction very clear and effective to any particular situation or the person that they come across. So these are the things I
Fine.
think that need to be taught to the children. And apart from other techniques, like I said, meditation could be one wonderful technique that can be taught to children as well.
So, can children be able to suppose it's a child of below 10 years, under 10 years? Can he do meditation by himself? And how can he do meditation?
I think meditation can be done by everyone. I don't see that as a challenge. But can they do it? Of course, they may not be able to sit at one place, right?
Mhm.
That is there, obviously. The same technique that is used or that is taught to adults may not be taught with children. We, of course, definitely have to deploy different techniques. So you can't get a serious topic in front of them and then ask them to do. They may not like it. They won't be able to sit at one place.
Yes.
So basically we need to inculcate as part of the curriculum, maybe like just 2 minutes or 3 minutes to start with, along combining with some storytelling, combining with some
Mhm.
play and act. So and then you slowly build that, right? So rather than just pushing it through their neck, I think slowly
Fine.
build that and probably they would love it.
I guess, as I'm taking your words, the storytelling could be the one of the best technique to prepare the children to deal with their stress. Apart from that, hobbies, gardening, as you told
Yeah,
earlier. So gardening, it could be any hobby, maybe sports activities. They should be encouraged to
exactly.
participate in any of the activity of their choice. It may be drawing, painting, because colors. when they're coming into their own stream, the thing they like to do, I guess this will be the best stress buster for them. As you told about gardening, are you doing gardening?
Yeah,
You told me that.
I'm a gardener. Yeah, yeah. In fact, you
Oh,
just
good.
added that. That brought me to another point. Actually, you picked a very good point in terms of sports. Actually, right? So
Yes,
stress, like I said, is nothing but an accumulation of a lot of emotion and negative energies, right? So I think sports would be really a wonderful technique or a wonderful way to exuberate all the stress that you have accumulated over the day. Basically, it will release all the negative energies, or it will basically channelize that energy into a positive way. Basically, that is again a wonderful technique actually, and probably that's the reason even children would love to play sports, and that will also kind of help them in physical movement and stamina and all of that stuff actually.
so we have seen in many of the movies when any heroine or hero he is in too much stress, they start dancing, they start doing some of the physical activity, yoga,
Boxing.
boxing, jogging. So I guess by doing physical activities, the stress is released. So they get immense relaxation by doing that. And children too should be taught to do the same thing. As there is stiff
Absolutely,
competition, we
absolutely,
can
and
say,
they would love
uh,
to do it actually.
yes, yes. Cutthroat competition is everywhere, and we people, being parents, are exerting too much stress on the children to uh, come to bring these marks or to be competitive. And in the schools also, they have to face the stiff competition. But there is no place, nowhere where they are taught to release their stress. Stress, stress, stress. Too much stress is given to them, but no one is teaching them to come out of that and to be free from all this. So I guess this should be taught to the children in the very basic or the beginning years of the life. What you feel that suppose a child below 5 years, even I have seen the children below 5 years that they are too in too much stress and they just yell at parents. They don't listen to them, become angry and become repulsive. So what you feel that what should we do to start from the very beginning to deal with stress?
No, I think if okay, it's my personal point of view. I think for children below 5 years, if you ask me, if you leave them in their own space, I don't think they have any stress.
Ah,
If you actually notice them and observe them, they are in very cheerful, playful, in the present moment, enjoying everything.
ah,
Meaning, I have seen many a times they would kind of fight with their siblings or friends, and the next few
okay.
seconds they will again go and play nicely, cheerfully, right? So
Yes,
they basically live in the moment. They know how to live in the present and enjoy that moment. I don't think they have any stress. Meaning, basically, if they're trying to argue, they're trying to negotiate with their parents or whatever to get what they want. I don't think it's
yes,
stress. um, but otherwise, if parents, so I think generally what is happening right now is parents, whatever they couldn't achieve or what they would want is what they're putting across as a pressure to the children to get
exactly.
there. I
Obsess,
think
the
that is what
obsession
is,
say,
because we need to understand, while they are our children, they have their own choices. They are
exactly.
building it unconsciously, meaning we can't rub our choices on them. Meaning, as
Exactly.
parents, we might think we might have that right and duty. I'm not saying we should not guide them in the right path. We should absolutely,
Mm,
but it's not be through a force. It should not be through a pressure, or it should not be your choice. It should be their choice,
mm,
basically, right? I think that is something that's creating a lot of pressure. And parents might argue, if I don't put that pressure, children will not study. They'll be glued to
okay.
iPhones, tabs and mobiles and playing games. I do understand there are challenges with technology coming in. I'm not denying, but it is the smartness and the capability of parents as to how do they channelize that energy into a positive way, into
Good.
something that is useful and something that they love doing. And that's the
Yeah.
biggest challenge, and it is easier said than done. Even I am struggling for that matter. Right, it's one of the biggest challenges again. But otherwise, if you leave them in their own world, I think they don't have any
Mhm.
stress, according to me. It's something that we are creating to them actually.
Yes. So, fine, Pranvi, do you feel that the children should be allowed to become dependent upon the technology or to become a slave of the technology? Because we are finding the children are more inclined towards video games or on the PlayStations. They're spending most of their time. What my opinion is that by doing that, they're going into more stress. when dealing with some fictitious figure in the video games to kill, to defeat that person, or to become victorious on that. So do you feel that it is exerting more stress on the children?
I think anything for that matter, just not just technology. See, technology has come to ease our lives, ease the way we do
Yes,
things, right? It is supposed to be that helpful. But unfortunately, we humans are very smart enough to take it to the excessive levels and create damage to our own selves. That's the problem with
yes,
everything that we create. So anything that is excessively used is always a problem. Same with technology.
yes,
Now, having said that, um, um, so if I were to give an example, when we were kids, we were fascinated to watch TV, and our parents used to yell at us if we are watching TV for a long time and not studying. It's the same thing
yes,
now. That's just that it switched from a TV to a gadget, a mobile or a PlayStation or something, right? Having said that, now if you can utilize it effectively, if there is, so for example, if my son has to do some homework, or if the teacher has asked them to study on a particular topic, they have that information on their tip of the fingers. They go to the Google and get all the information, which
yes,
is wonderful. They
yes.
get to know a lot of things. I get to know a lot of things from my son. He taught me how to use a tripod. I didn't know how to use a tripod, right? Meaning they have that kind of information which is very useful at the tip of their hands because of technology. Having said
Yes,
that, if they misuse the technology for wrong things, which probably they may not know, and that's where we need to come in and guide, right? So whether games is good or bad, it depends on kind of games that they play, for how much time that they play, what is their priority, why they are playing that game. So like you said, yes, a
uh-huh,
lot of games today involve a lot of violence. I am worried. I'm not saying it's good or bad. Probably it has a lot of negative impact, because children are thinking killing is not, is okay, meaning shooting,
uh-huh.
meaning playing with guns and shooting is okay. I do not
Mhm.
know if that is really good. I personally think it is not good. But that's the kind of games that they're in. So basically, you need to see how do they make effective use of technology that is available. Then that's where the role of a parents would come in, for them to channelize and use the technology for the effective and right purposes. But it becomes difficult. It is easier said than done. I'm also trying to learn how to get that done with my children.
Okay,
It's not that
okay.
easy.
So, what we feel that what is the crux of our today's talk that first of all, person has to become well prepared for to deal with the stress from the inner side. So we cannot change the
Exactly.
circumstances, we cannot change the atmosphere, we cannot change the people around us. But we have to change ourselves. We have to learn the techniques by which we can defeat our stress. So what you talked
Exactly.
about that first of all, if we talk about the children, they should be allowed to do the things they want to do, which they feel interested. It may be their hobbies, like it may be singing, because by doing singing, by dancing, so first of all, they'll enjoy. They'll get immense pleasure
Exactly.
by doing the activities of their choice. And this could be the best stress buster for them. So, Pranay, what I feel that
Absolutely.
there must be some time as you're spending 1 hour every day on doing meditation, because this is giving you immense pleasure, relaxation, energy. Along with that, it is preparing you to deal with the stress you're going to come across the whole day. So similarly, every person
Exactly.
has to find out the thing by which he can release his stress, and he should prepare for to deal with this that stress. What I want to say, that he should get the energy to combat with the
Exactly.
whole day's activities or the stress or the odds he is going through. Because according to me, stress is actually the struggle of a person to deal with the odds he is going through the whole day. It may be the odd behavior of
Exactly.
someone. It may be he's going with some odd situation. It may be the atmosphere is wrong. Maybe boss is we cannot say the boss because he's doing his own duty. If we
Exactly.
see him at his own position, he's very much right. And if he's dwelling on his subordinates to get the work done on time, so he's very much right at that time. So what we should
Exactly.
do, that a person has to get prepared from him, from inner side. So he should spend at least 1 hour, as we are learning from our course also, that one should spend one me time, that is to prepare himself to
Absolutely.
combat with the problems he's going to face in the outer world. It may be doing by doing meditation, it may be by gardening, it may be singing, dancing, painting, pot painting, knitting, or anything by which he's getting pleasure. Cooking could be one thing among that. So can
In
you
fact, a
add some?
simple technique, sorry, a simple technique
Yes,
could be, I think people in the past would have done, they just come and write a diary,
yes,
they just express
yes,
their feelings. In fact, that
yes,
could be very simple technique. Basically, they're just releasing all the emotions and energies that they have accumulated. It could be positive, negative, basically, right? So stress is largely to
exactly.
do with negative energies. Just by writing, expressing, they're just releasing their negative energies. That could be another simple technique.
So one thing more, if the person open his heart, so he should express his feelings to other people on whom he rely or
Exactly.
trust. So I guess much of the people who are committing suicide nowadays, or who are going into the worst, or they're going into the, they're trapped by the evils like drug addiction, suicidal
Yeah.
thoughts, delinquency, so they could be saved. So it is my strong message to all the viewers that they should open their heart. They should not conceal their negatives, or the poison which is accumulated in their mind, but they must talk to someone. They must express a feeling, as Pranvi just said, that they may write on a paper. They should throw the acid of their odd thoughts of the mind on the paper even, because paper is not going to burn. Paper will definitely release their stress and make them bit soothen, or relieved from their inner side. So what message would you like to give to the audience, or to the viewers who are watching our show today? So what should they do to deal with their stress?
I think only two things I would say. Get your priorities straight and clear in life. I think that's the first
Okay,
biggest thing, will change a lot of things in life. The second thing is do focus on mind bath. It's not just body bath. You definitely
very
need to
good.
focus on mind bath. It could be an hour
I
or half
really
an hour,
like.
whatever you decide, what time, how much time, how, what's the medium, all of that you can decide, right? But that is very essential to cleanse your mind, basically
I loved it.
to
I
clean
loved
the
it.
entire
This
energy that
point.
you have. Yeah,
I
to
love this
clean the
point of yours,
energy
Pranvi.
that you have accumulated over the day, basically that would help you to cleanse your mind. Those
So
are the
to
2
cleanse
points.
your mind.
And
Uh-huh.
yeah, absolutely. And probably the third and last point, like you rightly said, most of the time, what happens, even if there is a thought or a stress that is created, we don't stop there. We go and we go and kind of multiply over it. We do a lot of self talk, and most of the time, you may not have someone to really share and express at that point
Yes,
of time, and then you go increase your self talk, and that's when you get into the suicidal mode, basically, right? So I think you need to be conscious of your thoughts. Don't extend your self talk in the negative way. It should be converted into positive way, and figure out someone with whom you can really express, and they could be their sounding boards or boxing boards, whatever, right? So basically you release all that energy, basically. That would be
yes.
another good thing, in especially in the current world where we are in.
Thank you so much, Pranvi, to be a guest, to be a wonderful guest on my show, because the things you have told to the people, I guess this is going to help them immensely in their coming life. So thank you so much to be on the show. So the viewers who are watching our show this time, thanks to you also. So we will be live the next week again at the same time, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Till then, we are leaving. Thank you so much to be our viewers. Thank you.
Thank you, Arshnoor, for giving me this opportunity. Nice talking to everyone on a very relevant and important topic. And had a
Yes.
nice time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear. Thank you.
Thank you.